Okay, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the fallout from Aldo's last fight, Jose Aldo Jr.'s last fight against Zahabi. It was a close fight. It was competitive. I'll be honest, it was competitive. I'm not gonna, and obviously Aldo's decision to retire after losing that fight as well. This isn't going to be a breakdown of Aldo's entire career. That video will probably come later down the line, where I go through some of his best wins and most notable losses, and his sort of career, WEC, UFC, all these things, and his back half of his career as well. I won't talk about that in this episode. I'm going to be talking about really just the fight, how I scored it, how I think the fight went, and who I think was the rightful winner. So if we look at the first round, Aldo comes out really strong, really nice, athletic, explosive, pushing the pace, trying to walk down Zahabi, and for the most part is landing the bigger shots and controlling the octagon as well. Zahabi did land a few shots of his own in the first round, but it was clear that Aldo didn't really fear the power coming back at him, and still had the athleticism and gas tank at that point in the fight to push forward and throw a lot of punches. I think Aldo pretty comfortably won the first round. The second round, Aldo slowed down quite a bit, and Zahabi seemed to sort of better able to dictate the pace, which naturally is going to be a slower pace, where you've got Aldo who's getting a bit more tired, and Zahabi who prefers to fight at a slower pace than Aldo anyway, right? And like we said, Aldo, who was starting to tire, and a clear sign of you seeing that is that in the first round, he hardly gave up any ground. In the second round, he starts to give up a bit of ground because he's not got the gas tank to continually apply this pressure that he was applying in the first round. That being said, Aldo still threw punches. It wasn't like he was getting walked through, was definitely throwing enough to keep Zahabi honest, but for the most part, Zahabi was probably in terms of clean punches, might have been outlanding Aldo. But definitely in terms of control of the fight, Zahabi felt like he was controlling it, doing a much better job of controlling the round over Aldo in the second round. Then in the third round, this is a really interesting round because the third round, Zahabi was winning it. Then Aldo, throws that knee, then that head kick. Oh my gosh. I thought it was about to be over. He rocks him, then drops him, then tries to shoot for a takedown, falls back on guard, literally flops onto his back, and then Zahabi gets on top and butchers him with elbows. Oh, those elbows were nasty, and you could see the blood pouring out of Aldo's face. Those elbows were nasty. Right? They were nasty. And that, I don't know if that is more damaging than the knee and head kick rock and then drop him. I don't think it is, not in my books, but where you had the end of that round, Zahabi butchering him with elbows, plus the start of the round where Zahabi was winning the round, you've got to give that dominance more weighted value than the 10, 15, 20 seconds that Zahabi was in real trouble. That being said, that was the closest either of the two of them had chance to ending the fight. So it's a tricky one. But I hear some people were giving Aldo that third round, in which case they were saying Aldo should have won the fight 2-1. But I probably would give it to Zahabi. And I think the judges did. I think for the most part, if I'm remembering correctly, I think most judges did give Zahabi 2-1. But yeah, I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Obviously, Jose Aldo has retired now, which is a shame because he's an absolute legend of the sport. But it gets to a point where Zahabi was ranked, I think, number 15 or 14, and he not comfortably beat Aldo. It was a competitive fight, but he beat Aldo, and at that point, Aldo should really be out of the rankings. And a guy like Jose Aldo shouldn't be fighting unranked guys at this point. This is a good time for him to retire. Of course, it would have been nice for him to retire fighting other legends because he's a legend himself. But hey, that's the UFC for you. But yeah, we're curious to know what you guys thought of that fight. Did you think Aldo won that fight? Do you think Aldo deserved to win that fight, or do you think Zahabi was the rightful winner in terms of that. And are you happy to see Jose Aldo finally retire? I was thinking, I don't know what his contract situation is with the UFC, Aldo's contract situation, but he should go to someone like GFL. He'd be champion in GFL. I was saying to Evan when we went for lunch today, Aldo v Ferguson at 155 for the GFL lightweight title. Tell me he doesn't want to see that, bro. Aldo would probably win that fight as well, but I would really want to see that fight. I would really want to see that. I'll be honest. That's a fight I would want to see. If I'm being honest, that is a fight I'd want to see. But yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.